What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com here once again to discuss Paulo Dybala and the boot situation that's been happening for months now. Which brand is he going to sign with? What shoe will he ultimately end up wearing? For those that aren't familiar with this situation, it started off with Dybala being a Nike endorsed athlete. He was wearing the Nike Mercurial Superfly 5. His contract with Nike then expired and he hasn't re-signed with anybody else. So when his contract initially expired, he blacked out his Superfly 5s as professional players do when they are out of contract. They don't want to advertise anybody for free. But what's controversial about what he did is he blacked out the Superflies and added his own logo in white, kind of rebranded the shoes, if you will. So he did that for a little while. Then he moved on to wearing Adidas blackouts. He was wearing the Pure Chaos and the Pure Speed. Hard to tell which specific variation he's been wearing. Likely the Pure Speed more recently. And that's kind of been what he's been wearing, blacked out Adidas Pure Speeds. But very, very recently, he was spotted wearing some blackouts from Puma, specifically the new Puma 1 17.1, fully blacked out, and again, he added his logo to the side. Obviously, he is now kind of flirting with a bunch of different brands, still with no endorsement deal, but what exactly is he doing? Why is it taking so long for Dybala to sign an endorsement deal with another brand? This is kind of an unusual situation because we don't normally see big name players like this go this long without a renewed endorsement deal. It's been months now and he's still wearing blacked out boots. But there are some interesting things that he's been doing that are unique to this situation that I think give us a little bit of a clue on why things are taking so long. He's blocking out the shoes, yes, but he's also adding his logo to the side. Why is he doing this? It's very clear to me that he's trying to create his own brand to a certain extent. And I'm definitely confident in saying that whatever brand he does end up signing with, whatever he's trying to negotiate right now, or his manager's trying to negotiate, he probably wants a ton of money. And that's always going to make certain brands hesitant, because while he is a very good player, it's hard to say that he's going to be the next Ronaldo, the next Messi. Is he going to be worth the amount of money that I'm sure he's asking for? But two, because he is incorporating his logo into these blacked out shoes, he's trying to create his own brand. I think it's probably very likely that in whatever deal he's negotiating with whatever brand it might be, Nike, Adidas, Puma, could be somebody else even, he wants to be a major part of that brand and perhaps even want a signature model, which is why I think Puma does make a little bit more sense, because they probably could take a chance on giving a guy like Dybala a signature model, where a brand like Nike or Adidas, I think they would be a lot more hesitant. They usually don't give signature models to a player unless you are one of the top 5 players in the world, which I don't think you can say that about Dybala at this particular point in time. What was also interesting about this particular situation to me is I think it draws a lot of parallels to Lonzo Ball and his current situation with his footwear. Now, if you're familiar with basketball, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You recognize the name Lonzo Ball. He was recently drafted 2nd overall to the LA Lakers, and he of course is one of the faces of Big Baller brand. It's kind of a family brand. You guys probably know about the Ball brothers and LeVar Ball. It's all over the place. It's not a secret at this point in time. But anyways, basically, he enters the NBA, they introduce a signature model for Lonzo Ball under the Big Baller brand. He decides he's not going to sign any kind of endorsement deals with any brands because basically he wanted way too much money. The deals that were put out in place by LeVar Ball, the father, just were simply unrealistic for a guy that has never played an NBA game. Anyways, the Summer League happened for the NBA, which is basically an off-season kind of tournament for first and second year players, some guys who haven't even played in the NBA like Lonzo Ball. In the first 2 games of the Summer League that Lonzo played, he wore his own brand of shoes. But in the games after that, he wore Nike, he wore Adidas, he wore Under Armour, and he wore Jordan brand. Why did he do this? It's kind of similar to the Dybala situation in that he wore blacked out Nikes, he wore blacked out Adidas, now he's wearing blacked out Puma shoes. He's kind of putting the feelers out to these brands. He's almost teasing them to a certain extent and saying, hey, this is what you could have. This is the notoriety that I bring to your brand. This is why you should pay me X amount of money. This is why you should want me to be part of your brand. And that's something that, like I said, Lonzo Ball seems to be doing. Obviously, he's not blacking out his sneakers. Kind of more difficult to do in the case of a basketball shoe. You can't really hide the way that looks as easily as you could with a soccer cleat when you black that out. But it's definitely a very interesting situation, and two situations that seemed very similar to me. So ultimately, who is Dybala gonna sign with? I think that the message he's trying to put out there right now is that he's bigger than the brands. And I think Nike and Adidas, for one, are probably not going to buy into that. He probably wants too much money. He may want a signature model. And I don't think that Nike or Adidas is willing to give that to him. So I would almost write them off at this point in time. I could be wrong, but who knows what's going to happen. Puma, I think, is definitely a strong possibility. At the current moment right now, as I'm making this video, I think they've dug themselves a little bit of a hole in terms of the boots they have on offer and just their overall popularity. They definitely could be doing a lot better, to say the least, and they might take a chance on a young guy like Dybala, who perhaps might bring some notoriety and some popularity to the brand in regards to footwear sales. Even brands that are less popular in the soccer cleat football boot world, Under Armour, New Balance would be a strong possibility as well. It wouldn't surprise me if he signed with one of those brands, because one, I think they'd be willing to offer him the money for the sake of having a signature athlete, if you will, somebody that could potentially bring popularity to the brand, because ultimately that's the main reason why they signed these endorsement deals. I just think, based on what it seems like he wants, which is a lot, Nike and Adidas are just not willing to pay him that, but a smaller brand definitely would be more likely. So again, Puma, Under Armour, New Balance, those would be my first three guesses, but who knows? Only time will tell. It's been pretty difficult to predict up until now. Anyways, that is it for my video on the Dybala situation. A lot of you guys messaged me to make an update video on what's going on, because it is very interesting. So I figured I'd share my thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to support it with a like. If you have any questions for me or any thoughts of your own on the situation, leave them down below in the comments and I definitely will get an answer out to you. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.